I mean, one of the big things that I have suggested that I think he and many others, including President Bush, have fallen down on and could have done a better job on is the means of governing as opposed to the ends of governing. I think too many of these folks get into office and worry about what policy or what law they want to pass and forget about the means with which they can accomplish it. And the American public is very focused on if people getting along, they see this country, they want to see this country as a family, even though we might have our bickering and fights. So I think if you concentrate too much on the ends of governing, that means you have a tendency to roll through people, as opposed to, I need to do outreach, I need to use the social power of the presidency, I need to sit down with the Republicans more, even if you don't get their votes over time. Just building a social relationship.
Doing it is a good thing.
The public wants to see.
So did you tell him you made a mistake on health care by ramming it through and not making more of an effort to include Republicans?
Well, again, I'm not going to say...
But you said that previously.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that's specifically what I said. I think he understands the process of the way with which health care was passed, left some lasting or left a lot of negative feelings, not only in Washington, but around the country.
Right.
And it became a very polarized debate. He was able to accomplish it. It's interesting to me, among many presidents in the modern times, his first year or 2 years in office had more of a series of accomplishments than most presidents have had, but he got no credit for it. He got no benefit politically from it. And a big part of the reason why I think he didn't get a benefit politically from it, because it was done in a manner with which the country disagreed with.
Well, and you've also said, again, not asking you what you said to him, but knowing what you've said previously, you've also observed that for someone who's a great communicator, he didn't do a very good job of communicating to the country the accomplishments that he had tallied over those 2 years.
Yeah, you know, obviously he's one of the best speech givers that we've seen. He does that well. Though there's a difference between, as I've said to people, there's a difference between giving good speeches and communicating well. Those two can be two different arts.
What's the difference?
Somebody can give a good speech, and he gives a good speech, but a way to communicate well means that somebody you're talking to is listening, and you may change their mind, or they may adapt, or they may do something differently. And I think he's been great. He had been great on the speech part of office, but he had not been great on the communication part of the office. And I think, again, part of that has to do with he had conducted much of the policy accomplishments in a polarized way. And when you do that, people have a tendency to turn their ears off. And even if you give the greatest speech, that your communication won't go through.
As I'm listening to you talk, I'm thinking about the difference between Bill Clinton and Barack Obama in that respect. Both were great speech givers. Bill Clinton was great at communicating with people and making them feel that he did the famous "I share your, feel your pain" thing, but he really did seem to be you. And there's a coldness almost to Obama's communication, different now than it was during the campaign when he was terrifically one of us. But he seems at a remove now, much more than you would have expected.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Clinton, I think, is one of those rare politicians that both has an ability to give a speech to a big audience and also be able to talk to 5 or 10 people or whatever and get what he wants. Bush was very good, as you know. I haven't been around him. Was very good at very small groups of people, or sort of that intensity of that stuff from the gut, but was not very good.
Not Henry Clay.
No, not Cicero on the podium.
Which is not a knock.
No.
It is what it is, right?
Bill Clinton had both strengths, and that's what made him so successful, I think.
You are an independent. Proudly you say, that's what I am. So you may be okay with the fact that Obama is being attacked from both the right and the left. You may, in fact, view that as a sign of his success now at repositioning himself. But in fact, the people on the right who attacked him for the first 2 years are continuing to attack him. But you hear a lot of criticism now from the left who feels like Obama has deserted them and the principles that they, embrace.
I think that the president only ends up in trouble. All presidents only end up in trouble with their own party when their overall numbers deteriorate to such an extent that people don't feel like they can stand behind him. As long as his overall numbers stay high, he's going to be able to have his base. And I think if he keeps trying to build relationships with both sides of the aisle, he's going to have to move against some of the stuff on his own party if he's going to do that kind of stuff. He will be fine. His numbers will stabilize. How long they will sit at the higher point they are today than they were in November is going to totally be contingent on what he does in the next steps. These things are all temporal. You can't do one great thing and think it lasts for 3 months or 6 months. You have to keep showing it over and over.